Hey guys, I've got another mod today for the P226 airsoft pistol. This mod is actually really simple, unlike my last mod which increased the magazine capacity. What this one does is it locks back the slide. So what you do is after you fired your last BB, you cock the weapon, the slide locks back like this, you put in your new clip, and then you release the slide, and then you're ready to fire. This mod is actually very simple. All you need is an X-Acto knife, and it's a knife, so be safe. What you need to do first is take the slide off your gun. Now this is actually probably the easiest part. There is a little round thing right there, and what you have to do is press it. And the first time you're doing this, you may have to get a screwdriver or something to sort of press down on it pretty hard, but mine is loose, so you press it in. And what that does is there's this piece on the other side, and that loosens it up. So you can grab it, or if you need to get some pliers and sort of pull that out. Now hold on to that. Next, you make sure that the safety's off and the gun is not loaded. You pull the trigger and you just slide it forward and off. So you can just set that aside. Basically how this mod works is I've cut 2 grooves in the slide, in the bottom of it right there. And what that does is makes it so that whenever you're cocking the gun, the hammer, which is spring-loaded, those grooves move past it, and the hammer moves upwards and sticks into those grooves. And I guess you have to be a little bit precise because the hammer keeps it from moving forward because it's stuck into those grooves at this point. And the grooves aren't so deep that you can't just push the slide forward, so whenever you're cocking the gun you can it functions almost normally. But then if you're on your last BB or whatever, then you lock it back and then you reload, and then what you do is you just move the hammer downward, and that takes it out of the grooves and lets the slide move forward. You basically pull back the slide as far as you can, and while you're doing that, you see where the hammer rests on those 2 parts of the slide where the grooves are, and whenever you're pulling it back as far as you possibly can, you get a friend with the X-Acto knife to make 2 small scratches where the slide is, and that's how you'll know where you need to start your making your notches. Now whenever I made those 2 scratches so that I would know where the hammer would be when the slide was all the way back, I had actually taken the spring out of the slide, and that made making the scratches easier simply because I didn't have to hold the slide back as hard as I could while someone else made the scratches. I was able to do it on my own. But getting the spring in and out is not easy, and the gun isn't actually made to do that, so it's really difficult, and it's possible that you could permanently damage the gun by doing that. So I would just have a friend make those scratches for you while you're holding the slide all the way back. And after you've started making the grooves, you can reassemble the gun, test it, and then disassemble it, and then make any additional changes or cuts that you feel necessary. So you have a lot of flexibility since it is very easy to remove the slide on the gun. Then once you've disassembled the gun once again, you just basically take your X-Acto knife, and wherever those scratches are, you can just start making those little grooves. And if you don't want to make them too deep, because then you won't be able to allow the slide to go forward without cocking back the hammer, and that would get really annoying if you had to do that every shot. So there's sort of this happy medium where it's deep enough for the hammer to lock, but not so deep that you can't just push the slide forward. And so after you make those grooves, you just reassemble the weapon and you're good. Now if you're using this mod and you also like being able to reload really quickly, I would highly recommend hot gluing your magazines together if you have more than one, because that'll give you pretty much the fastest reload you can get.